Hey, y'all. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, people. Listen, it's trending topics. It's Saturday. Diva back in the building, not on vacation anywhere. So we got stuff to talk about. And listen, before I even get into tonight's show, if y'all missed trending topics last night, now the train pulled out late, extra late, because I think the train pulled out like 9:30 last night. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If y'all missed the train last night, you missed all of the show, and you need to go back, watch that show, because we had stuff to talk about last night. But you know what? Here we are today. It's Saturday. It's trending topics, and the title is Shocking Revelations. Shocking Revelations. We got stuff to talk about. So, you know, we're going to get Diddy stories and stories about his parties probably to now to Kingdom Come. Okay? We're going to get these stories. And everybody now, in hindsight, in real time, they knew everything. They felt something off about Diddy, but yet they went to party after party after party after party. Everybody allegedly knew the drinks were spiked. But what's interesting with this girl is she says that they got bus loaded in, but they also got bus loaded out. So she said people would ask you, did you want to stay before the last busload left and the party really got popping? She also, too, wanted to talk about the kids that was at the party. Now, listen, I believe kids was at the party because if you see some of the pictures, one picture you see Kim Porter with the twins on her lap at the party. So if you in my age bracket, I'm 54. The adults would have a party. It would start out as a kids party. Let me back that up. It would start out as a family-friendly party, and then later on, the adults had their party. Now, it didn't get all Diddy-like and crazy like that, but the adults had their party. And you had to go to your room, close your door, because we ain't live in no mansion. You had to go in your room, close your door, and you didn't come out unless you had to use the bathroom. Don't come out that room talking about you thirsty, you want some Kool-Aid or something like that. You had to stay in the room. So, but what she's saying is that she don't know why kids were there, because from the beginning, even when the party was supposed to be family friendly, what she's claiming is there was people walking around with no clothes on and all kind of wild stuff was going on before the after party. But let me tell you what she says, something key. See, all these people running their mouth, and what they don't understand is you running your mouth in the Fed, they're looking for people to speak on their behalf. So let me tell you why she going to get a phone call from the feds. Well, maybe not from the feds. Let me back that up. She may get a phone call from Diddy's people. Why? because she said everybody knew about the cameras. Did y'all catch that? You see, what we like to do over here on this channel is we listen to what the people say out of their mouth. I'm going to play it for y'all. And I'm going to read the article for you. She said everybody knew about the cameras because it was a big house, and who wouldn't expect a house of that size to not have cameras? Now everybody said they didn't know they was being filmed. He snuck filming them, and I do believe that when it came to them getting it in, he probably did film a lot of people and they had no clue. But it's interesting how girlfriend came out of her mouth and said everybody knew there was cameras there. I want y'all to catch the words that are going to come out of her mouth. She also said that before she even went to a Diddy party, that people warned her about what was going to go down there. Let me ask y'all a question. So somebody tell you there's a party downtown. I don't care where you live, there's always a downtown. There's a party downtown. And at said party, there's going to be substances, adult beverages, and the people that are throwing that party, they're known to drop a little something in the drinks. They're also known at this party to offer you Cocoa, Mary Jane, and sometimes the Cocoa and the Mary Jane got a little something extra in it that may make you pass out. Let me ask you this. Are you still going to said party? Out of her own mouth. That's why I show y'all the videos and the articles over here so y'all don't be like Diva putting 20 on 10. Out of her own mouth, she said she was warned before she even went to the party that these things go down at the party. Let me tell you what else came out her mouth. She came out her mouth and said at one point, video vixens was dropped off. And I don't know, like all of these people was just dropped off at Diddy parties. But anyway, video vixens were dropped off. And she said also P-stars were dropped off. I got one more question to ask y'all. If you had a party, would you be able to sit back and say, that's a video vixen right there, person A, and person B is a P-star? You would be able to figure that out? Well, this girl, she knew. Back in her 20s, she said she was naive. But on the flip side of her saying she was naive, she also said she recognized when the people came through the doors that they was a video vixen and a P-star. I mean, these people are telling so many lies and they don't realize how stupid they sound. But we're going to talk about it. Shocking revelations. The next story is about Kanye West. So Kanye West, the girl was already suing him. She amended her lawsuit. And now, listen, I don't care what happened in Hollywood. The people going to say it went down in Diddy house. She amended the lawsuit and said it was at some event with Diddy that Kanye violated her. So somehow Diddy got tied up in this. Child, listen. Somebody gonna be suing the court next week. They fell in the supermarket and somehow Diddy was there and pushed the cart into them. Listen, this is crazy. But she amended this lawsuit. Diddy name is in it. And she's accusing Kanye of all kind of things. We're going to see how this pans out. Kanye over there in Japan. I don't know if he got a lawyer, because his last lawyer said he don't want to work for him no more because Kanye ain't responding. He ain't paying him. He ain't talking to him. He's doing nothing. Kanye going to mess around and get a default judgment, and he going to be sick to his stomach. And forget about Bianca walking around with no clothes. She really going to have to walk around with no clothes because they ain't going to be able to afford nothing. So we got to talk about that. And then there's this story. Maybe when I play it, y'all will be reminded. I did a story a few months ago where a woman, a senior citizen, 95, the aide that was supposed to take care of her, it pretty much beat her down. But guess what? See, cameras are not all bad. Cameras are not all bad. You know, the cameras are getting a bad name in the home because there's some sinister people out there. But cameras are not all bad. The family had the cameras up in the grand Nana's apartment, and they caught on video the aide putting her hands on Nana. Well, now she got arrested and charged, and rightfully so. Now, I don't know how much time you could get for said situation, but she needs to be behind bars for a long time, because when you want to put your hands on the senior citizens, you got a problem. And she had bruises on her too. It's like, if you don't want to work with the public, don't take a public job. In order to do that home health aid, that home care, it takes a special individual. You got to really care about the people. And it seemed like she went ham on this lady for no apparent reason whatsoever. I hope the family found another situation for their grandmother, their mother, their auntie, their family member. Because to be 95 and have to go through something like that is horrific. But they did charge her. And good, rightfully so. Now listen, guys, it's Saturday. We're going to buckle our seatbelts. And listen, I tell everybody over here, everybody has the right to their own opinion. But listen, we stand our ground over here. Y'all know I stand mine, and I expect the panelists to stand theirs. We got to talk about some things, and we got to break things down, and we got to figure things out. And you all in the chat, y'all can stand your ground too. Just be respectful to each other. That's all we ask over here. Be respectful, no cursing, none of that. But stand your ground. And give us some meat and potatoes when you want to say your point. Because I'm going to give you the meat and potatoes for my point. Yes, I will. So I'm going to stand my ground and you stand yours. Listen, guys, y'all know what I need in the chat, right? I need a what? Come on to that. I see you. I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Shocking revelations. Yes, Diddy's house, okay? The chick said out of her own mouth, the people knew about the cameras. Kanye West, you know, he was already being sued by this individual, but she upped the ante on her lawsuit. And then we got the aide, the home health aide that's supposed to be taking care of the elderly, and she abused her. Let me go ahead and bring the people on in the building so we can have a conversation tonight, y'all. Come on now, we're going to have a conversation. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Hey, Chad. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, Wayne. Oh, we got the people in the building.
Hey, Diva.
We got. Hey, everybody. We got old school in the building tonight. Come on now. Okay. We got the some of the beginning panel up in this building tonight. We're going to get it in, y'all. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. And I'm going to start with this Diddy story, because these individuals are coming out They're running their mouth. I don't know what it is about a camera and a mic that get the people to want to run their mouth. But what they need to understand is this thing is with the feds now. This is not a jokey joke. This is not for play. If you want to sit in front of somebody's camera and tell a Diddy story,
is for.
wait, hold on. You're not muted. Okay, I just muted you. If you want to sit on somebody's I'm good. If you want to sit on somebody's camera and tell a Diddy story, you better be prepared to perhaps maybe get a call from the feds or the defense team. All right, let's get into it. Let me go ahead and share screen. And I want y'all to listen to baby girl really closely. And then when I read her words, I want y'all to help me break this thing down and let's get an understanding. Share another one with the tears. I ain't saying they real, I ain't saying they fake. Let's hear her out.
I literally took one sip of my beverage and the whole side of my face felt like I had a stroke.
When I was at Diddy's parties, I met Diddy.
Just be aware. Diddy's the host and Diddy is the leader.
I'm Precious Muir. I'm from London, England. I'm a TV broadcaster and TV personality, best known for being in The Circle, but it's not the only thing that I'm known for.
But I had like a whole 10-year career as a model in Manhattan, New York for my whole entire 20s. I was there in 2005. A lot of jobs that models got back then was networking. Back then, we didn't have the luxury of social media. We didn't have the luxury of Instagram where we could DM a brand directly. We had to rely on our manager, our booker, our agent, and if they didn't have those connections, we had to make those connections. And so going to parties was not even just an option, it was part of our job. I actually was approached by a VIP host, I guess you would call him a club promoter, who basically was the person that helped organise a Diddy party. They would often shuttle us over in a shuttle bus or SUVs. I was nervous, I was excited, I couldn't believe I was invited, to be amongst these kind of people because I hadn't made a name for myself. I was still trying to establish myself in this industry. I wanted to make connections. And I was so young. I felt like I was just trying to figure out what to do with my career and how else to further my career otherwise. However many seats could hold, all these models to go to these parties, they just put us all in there and took us to the party. I was at a party that had a lot of entertainment industry people, musicians, singers, rappers, and I literally took one sip of my beverage and the whole side of my face felt like I had a stroke. I remember this like it was yesterday, and I just met these
People would slip stuff into the drinks that were out. So it might have been in the mixers, it might have been in like anything. So you had to be super careful. There's so many traps that you could fall into and you had to be aware of all of them. I mean, there was a lot of girls that didn't make it. There was a lot of girls that gave up modeling. There was a lot of girls that went into therapy. There was a lot of girls that went into rehab. There was a lot of girls that just went home.
One thing that concerned me the most was seeing children. I was like, why would a parent, as much as it's a day party, as much as it's the Hamptons, like, why would you bring your child to something like this? There's a lot of girls that were there to try to impress people. They were hooking up in the pool, kissing and touching and groping each other naked in the pool. There was a lot of dancers performing, dancers around in different outfits and stuff like that. Like, this is not an atmosphere for children at all.
I think the Diddy parties, the later it got, the worse it got. So everybody's been drinking all day. Everyone's loosened up. Things got a bit more aggressive. Girls that looked like video vixens would arrive. shaped in a different way. So they had very big bums, big breasts, porn stars as well. And they would be grinding and dancing half naked all over the rappers. Extreme tension of sex around us. So those types of girls would do anything. There was parts of the house that you can go, more drug taking, more drinking. I did see girls hooking up, people having sex. I did see two men kissing. Like, that stuff did happen later towards the end of the evening. Like, that was around us. We saw that. We were like these little rabbits, and they were like these wolves that would surround you. And you felt like you were fresh meat. Yeah. You were watched a lot, like with your phone. So they'd be like, oh, you know, don't take too many pictures and stuff like that, because this is a private setting. Yeah, security was quite on that, you know, don't take too many pictures, or, you know, just capturing too much of what's going on here in the party. Like, very exclusive, very private. Because there's a lot of people and there's a lot of big names there. It's a lot of big celebrities. I saw a lot of big celebrities at these parties. The first time I ever met Hugh Hefner, we took a picture and he groped my ass. That's in your mind forever. You feel like you're a form of entertainment, and it was uncomfortable. You don't want to upset them, because they had a way of trying to manipulate you to think, if you don't do what I say, I can ruin your career. So there's a lot of pressure on a young girl in a new place. And then you think, well, why do I have to do this to get there? Why can't I just do it the right way? It's when you start to participate in the drug taking, that is when things escalate into something different. When I was at Diddy's parties, I met Diddy. I met Cassie. He is a very unique individual. You can sense that he likes to be in control. And I don't think anyone really ever says no to him. I kept my distance because I met him not only at his house in Hamptons, but I also saw him a lot in Manhattan, in New York. And I was always concerned about rappers coming on to me, and I don't look like those girls with, you know, with voluptuous I look like a girl. The drug taking was very, very casual. Hearing all the allegations and knowing the actual details of it all, I am disgusted, but I'm not surprised at all about the accusations that has come out against Diddy. The fact that it was filmed against the person's knowledge, I think is wrong. All these celebrities that were at these parties are still celebrities and very big names now.
Okay, so that was her verbal words, right? Let's get a little bit into this article. I went to Diddy's scary parties as a young model. A lot of my friends from that time didn't make it, but the choice I made saved my life. Her choice was not to indulge in the substances, right? So a British TV personality has revealed how she attended Diddy's notorious parties as a young model living in New York, and the choice she believes saved her life. Her name is Precious Mirror, moved to the Big Apple in 2005 during her early 20s, and was told the only way to make a name for herself was to network, which often involves smoozing at glitzy parties attended by the rich and famous. But there was a dark side to these bashes, where young girls were offered drinks laced with substances, goaded into having sex, and filmed without consent. So now, let me carry on first. As the most debauched parties from them all were hosted by Sean Diddy Combs, how did she know that Sean Combs was the only one throwing sinister parties? I mean, girl, calm down and give me a break. The U.S. rapper accused of kidnapping, drugging, and coercing women into S activities with an upwards of 120 victims already coming forward. Now 40, and this is Precious, is 40 now, and an experienced broadcaster, Precious feels it's the right time to tell what really happened at the disgraced music mogul's notorious parties, revealing how her decision not to take substances saved her life. After many of her contemporaries at the time either quit modeling, into rehab, or ended up dead. Speaking to Daily Mail Online, Precious said there were a lot of girls who didn't make it, a lot of girls who gave up modeling or went into therapy or rehab. Not doing drugs saved my life. Okay, that's her again there. So I truly believe that not participating in drugs prevented me from going into a dark place that many other girls went to. Precious, who starred in the first series of reality show The Circle on Channel 4 in 2018, spent 10 years living in Manhattan, New York, working as a model, and in that pre-social media age was urged to connect with influential figures in order to land lucrative contracts. To a fresh-faced Londoner, the prospect of smoothing industry heavyweights was initially an exciting one. Precious explained, my agent really wanted me to network, get out there and meet people. Opportunities would arise. I was encouraged to go to parties and events because it's important to meet the right people. I was new to the country and needed to make connections with people that I couldn't get going to castings. A lot of jobs that models got back then were through networking. I wanted to be invited. Excuse me 1 second. I wanted to be invited. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me just let somebody in. Hey, Julius. Okay. I wanted to be invited and be around those amazing and incredible celebrities. So if you had the opportunity, you went. Back then, we didn't have the luxury of social media and Instagram to message a brand directly. Going to parties weren't just an option, but they were part of the job. That's all pictures of her. That's Diddy. Precious revealed she was approached by a club promoter while attending a brand event for Ciroc Vodka, who offered her the chance to attend a party hosted by Combs in New York in 2007. He told her shuttle buses or blacked out SUVs would transport her and fellow models from the Hamptons, where she was staying, to the nearby party, which was attended by a host of A-list celebrities. Precious said, I felt nervous, excited. I couldn't believe I had been invited to be amongst these kinds of people. I haven't made a name for myself. I was still trying to establish myself. I was so young. I didn't know how else to further my career. I had heard, this is the part we need to listen to. I had heard stories from other models who said, you had to be very careful when you go to these parties because there are people who try to hit on you, and I was young and naive. Precious had other reasons to be cautious. Before the Combs party, she sipped a spiked drink at another ranch's industry bash, which numbed half of her face. So in her video, and early in this article, she claimed Diddy threw the worst parties, but yet, before she even went to a Diddy party, she was at another party, sipped a spiked drink, and half her face went numb. We're just talking here. She was also warned by a friend. So people told her before she even stepped foot at a party, but she still went. She was also warned by a friend not to smoke any Mary Jane, as Diddy aides, so I guess Diddy's people, would allegedly sprinkle stuff in it. Plus, the vodka shots were rumored to be laced with substances as one of the many traps. So you got a friend giving you good counsel, telling you, hey girl, if you do go there, don't smoke nothing, don't drink nothing. Why would you go? She continued, we arrived at the party, and as soon as you come into the house, there were servers giving champagne. There were certain spaces where the big celebrities would sit, and they would sit and talk amongst themselves. There were also day beds and sofas. Everything was white, and we were all wearing white as well. We could be in a party for a few moments, and somebody will offer me substances immediately. Well, girl, you told us already. Your girlfriend told you, our friend told you this was going to be part of the party. Do you want a line of cocoa? Do you want some cocoa? Do you want to smoke some Mary Jane? Minutes into the party, they want to kick it off in the right way. But Precious refused any offers of suspicious looking substances, admitting, I got a little stick for it, but it was a form of control. They wanted to see who would be easily manipulated. So she also started off that she was young and naive. But then she's saying, I knew how to be aware of suspicious stuff. Okay. And I knew that them trying to offer me this stuff was a form of them trying to control me. We're just talking here. Who would take drugs and where, who would, a form of, to be easily manipulated? Who would take drugs and where would they go after that? It was the first step. If you're okay with the drugs, then what else are you okay with? Precious added, I know it sounds strange, but when you get these advances from big celebrity men, you're thinking, wow, he works for this brand and he works for this company. They all have a selling point to them. I will call them the suits. They said they would help me in my career and they would try and charm you. The model said rappers in particular were the most aggressive, and security would intervene if they saw guests taking pictures on phones. She explained the rappers were very aggressive, in my opinion. They were in your face. There would be a lot of them, a lot of hand gestures. They would grab you close. A couple of rappers took my phone and started putting their number in my phone. You were watched a lot with your phone. They didn't want you taking photos because it was a private setting. There was security. They didn't want you to capture too much. It was a very exclusive and private event. Precious describes host Diddy as very much the leader of the pack at the parties, but admitted there were other wolves in the house. She believes some guests were only there to take advantage of young models and girls who had dreams of becoming singers, dancers, and entertainers. Another concerning aspect about the parties was Precious was the attendance of young children who were mixing with guests during the day before the darker, more debauched, sinister side of the party kicked in later in the evening. But the young attendees would still have privy to nudity and encounters. She explained, there were day parties that went into the night, but I saw children there. I thought as much as it's a day party in the Hamptons, why would you bring your children to something like this? You see half-naked women and naked women in the pool. There were a lot of girls who were trying to impress people, hooking up in the pool, kissing and touching and groping each other naked in the pool. There were dancers performing in different outfits. This is not the atmosphere for children at all. I saw people hooking up sexually. When I went to the bathroom, I saw condom wrappers, fragments of cocoa on the side with whatever thing they used to sniff it. People don't understand that the atmosphere was palpable. The sex is around you, and there was so much graphic behavior of sex. You can feel it and see it. I walked past the room. She remembers all of this. She walked past the room, and she could hear people having relations. Indeed, the later into the party, the more extreme the behavior. Precious described how girls who looked like video vixens with big bums and big breasts were ferried in, as well as P stars. Okay, you know what a P star looked like versus a video vixen. Okay, she said those type of girls would do anything. She said those type of girls would do anything. They were grinding and dancing on platforms. She was just there in her head to toe, long clothes, doing nothing. But I'm going to carry on. There were more substance taken, more drinking, more dancing, and more everything. I saw girls hooking up, girls kissing, men hooking up. That stuff did happen. It's around us and we saw it. And to that, if they all consenting adults, so what? But we'll carry on. Preston says she met Diddy 54 at one of his parties when he was dating singer Cassie Ventura 38, who he was captured assaulting inside a Los Angeles hotel hallway in 2016. The model admits she felt instantly concerned for his partner. He is this young, naive girl. She meets Diddy. She meets Cassie. She has an aha moment. she immediately felt concern for Cassie, who was 21 at the time, and she looked so young, like herself, and felt their slender physiques were preyed on by guests. She explained, when I was at Diddy's parties, I did meet Diddy. I met Cassie too, a few times. He is a very unique individual. You can sense that he has a lot of confidence and that he likes to be in control and tell his inner circle what to do, and I don't think anyone ever says no to him. I kept my distance because I met him not only at his house in the Hamptons, but also in Manhattan, because there was always a sponsored event. Me and Cassie were very similar in age as well. So I looked at her and I thought, I thought she's so pretty and we're similar in age. She was of age, but she had a very young face. I was always concerned about rappers coming on to me and trying to instigate these kinds of things. You can tell they wanted to sleep with me. Basically, I look so young. I look like a child. What kind? Okay, I'm gonna let the panel talk. I don't look like these girls with a voluptuous shape. Precious also confirmed cameras. Open your ears, guys. This is Precious talking. I want you to hear this. Precious also confirmed cameras were scattered around the house. Precious also confirmed cameras were scattered around the house, filming activity in each room. This is what Precious said. Rumors have been swirling around Hollywood regarding Diddy secretly holding tapes of his A-list guests having relations at his parties, which they fear may come out in his trial. That's her and her current boyfriend, I guess. Precious said, I was aware of the cameras inside Diddy's house. So when we talk, people, this ain't diva talking. This ain't diva talking. Precious said, you see why Precious is going to get a phone call? Precious said, I was aware of the cameras inside Diddy's house. Precious said, everybody knew a property of this value would have cameras everywhere. This is out of Precious' mouth. The cameras that was always hidden. The people that was filmed unbeknownst to them. She said openly, people was getting it in front of the kids and all the guests at these parties. In the pool, in the bathroom. She walked by a bedroom. She heard noises of the people getting it in. According to Precious, her and her young, naive self was aware of the cameras, and she said so was everybody else. This is out of Precious' mouth, not divas, okay? It's down to their conscience and soul. If they have taken advantage of somebody or gave substances to somebody, taken the opportunity to physically and sexually assault someone, it will be on camera. I thought that everybody that was getting on in these kinds of things were consenting, and now it comes out that obviously it wasn't the case. What is she talking about? She said, I thought everybody was consenting. And she's saying now it wasn't the case. Girl, she got to miss me with the... This is the foolery that's coming out, y'all. If I had known at the time this was going on behind those doors, well, I would have said something 100%. Girl, you said you walked by a room and you heard stuff going on. You said you went in the bathroom and you saw unwrapped condoms everywhere, cocoa on the floor, and all of this other stuff. Girl, she's talking out of two sides of her neck. But we're going to continue. The longer the parties went on, the more X-rated they got, and Precious admit male guests would try to entice young models to stay and head to the basement after the last cars taking attendees back home had gone. Are y'all listening here? So she said cars was taking people back home. So I'm wondering why Precious, she done seen all of this foolery. And there's cars that brought her there is taking people back home. Why did you run outside and hop in one of these cars? But They also want to tell us, the feds, right, that people were forced, coerced, they against their will. But Precious is saying there's some cars where the people was able to go back home. Y'all follow me? She explained that later the later got at Diddy's parties, the arrested guy. Everyone has been drinking all day. They have all loosened up. Things got more aggressive and the atmosphere changed. There would be guys at the party encouraging girls to stay on and go down into the basement or different rooms and to stay longer with them. You had to make that decision. Did y'all hear what I just read? She said you had to make that decision. She didn't say anybody was forced to make a decision. She said you had to make that decision. It was uncomfortable because you felt obligated in a way because you are there as their guest and you feel like you're a form of entertainment. You don't want to piss them off in a way or upset them because they had a way of trying to manipulate you. And if you didn't do what they said, they could ruin your career. It was a lot of pressure on a young girl in a new place, and I felt vulnerable. And we were there. We were these little rabbits, and there were these wolves surrounding you. She added, you felt like you were obligated in some way to do what they asked you to do. It wasn't a good feeling. I felt privileged to be there, but it was scary when things started to get dark and how it started to turn. I don't know how I made it. You don't want to get yourself blacklisted. Diddy is currently incarcerated in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center as he awaits trial and could face a lengthy prison sentence if found guilty. He denies the charges. Precious, who is in a relationship with Fats and small singer Ben, 52, admits she wasn't surprised when she heard the rapper had been arrested. She said, hearing all the allegations, I am disgusted. I can't understand why a person will want to be like this. But I'm not surprised at all by the allegations because when I was at the Diddy parties, it was borderline already. It was a very adult atmosphere. It could go anywhere. Child. She a lot. Katrina, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, did her agent send her there to be pimped out? And another thing, if I took a drink and my face feel like I had a stroke, I don't care what the networking is. I'm not going back to no another party. And then you said you saw everybody knew Cameron was in the room. But how did you know Cameron was in every room? Did you peep your head in every door? So how you know Cameron was everywhere? I know you probably seen the cameras on the outside, but you said cameras was in all those rooms. But did you see those cameras in that room? And then you said the bus left. If you felt so uneasy, why didn't you get on the bus and leave as well? If I felt like this party was going to a dark space, I call my agent and say, look, I showed my face, I networked a little bit, and I'm going home. Why are you staying there for the after parties and for everything else to happen? And then you said you seen kids and stuff like that, and you didn't say anything. You said you seen kids was there, and people was half naked and whatsoever, and you saw Cassie, and you wanted to help Cassie, but you didn't want to help the children. You didn't want to tell the parents that I don't think your kids will be here. Which I know people can't say certain things to people parents, but you didn't try to help the children, but you was trying to help Cassie. That I don't know. She doing a lot of talking, and she gonna talk herself into a jail cell. These folks don't realize the stuff they be saying is gonna come back to hunt them. You sit up there saying you seeing all this stuff happening, but you didn't do anything. So therefore, you gonna be considered as accessory to the after fact of what happened at Diddy party. And like I said, if you said you felt it was Diddy party, the folks with the substances and all that type of stuff, and you lucky that you didn't partake in it. But you partake in everything else. You said you seen cameras in every room. Cameras was in every room. Did you look in the doors? You said you heard somebody having sex or whatsoever. How you know a camera was in there? Did you peep in the room to see was a camera in there? She's saying a lot of stuff. But we'll see how all of this stuff turns out or whatsoever, because she's muddying the waters a little bit. So we're gonna see how everything turns out with that. But it seems like to me your agent was trying to peep you out, girl. That's all I got.
Thank you, Katrina. Savannah, your thoughts?
She's saying a lot of stuff, but really not saying anything at all that we are not already privy to or we didn't know. So Diddy had late after parties and provided car service. That was a given. We knew about the cameras. We knew about the celebrities. I'm trying to figure out what is her purpose for speaking now. Just to clout chase or just get involved in the story or so she can go on interviews and people want to talk to her. I'm not understanding this her purpose for coming out. Miami, South Beach is known for being a party area. It attracts a lot of young people, and they go down there and do stupid things. If you seen a couple years ago, they canceled spring break because of the young people coming down and destroying the city with their partying and passing out and disregard for the residents, and it's a playground for celebs who are just trying to get away with playing in an area that's not policed well and where everything goes. So that's not a secret. That's been since the 60s, 70s. It's just during the era of Uncle Luke, Trick Daddy. I mean, that's why Puffy moved from New York to Miami because it was such a party area. That was one of R. Kelly's favorite spots to come and play. So what this young lady is saying is nothing new. I'm just wondering why she's opening her big mouth. Nobody really wants to hear about your experience or what your story is. And there's going to be many, many more that are going to attach to this story and try to be a part of it. And we'll probably be speaking to some federal authorities soon enough.
Yeah, thank you,
That's all I
Savannah.
have.
I think the key to her story was she didn't probably realize when she was running her mouth. She's kind of, to me, if I was Diddy lawyers, I would contact her because she's helping their case. She said there was cars taking people home. But according to what we hearing from the feds, everybody was forced. They was being plied with these substances. They couldn't leave, and they had to participate in highly orchestrated performances. But she said out of her mouth, there was cars taking people home. She also said that everybody, I don't know how she can account for everybody, but out of her mouth, now she said she was young and naive at the time. But she still realized that a home this size, of course, there's going to be cameras. And she said, not Diva, that there was cameras in every room. But the feds want to tell us that all these cameras was hidden and people had no clue they was being filmed. I did say the other day when they said that, because they said you had to go set up the room with lights, this, that, and the other. I said, well, if you're going to do this and all these lights are there, I would be like, why y'all need all these lights? But it kind of leans to what she's saying. She claims, now the feds told us there was a lot of hidden cameras, but she claims everybody knew that the cameras was there and there was cameras in every room. There's something amiss with this girl as to why she's running her mouth, but she's saying some messy stuff. She's saying some messy stuff. Wayne, your thoughts?
I'm like Savannah. Did I miss something? Is she claiming Diddy? Is she looking for something? I don't get it. Was she a victim? Is that why she's coming forth? Or she's snitching? Or is that what that is?
I think she thinking she was trying to help the feds case, but to me, she's helping Diddy's case because she wanted to throw in young kids was there. All right, well, their parents made a bad judgment. What do you want us to do with that? And these young kids saw stuff. What are we supposed to do with that? But see, where she messed up in her story is when she said people were being taken home. She said people were asked if they wanted to go downstairs, and you had to make the decision on whether you was going to go down there or not. She said that. But the feds said everybody was forced, drugged up, messed up, didn't know what they was doing. But girlfriend said you were asked. Now you gotta listen to what her words were.
Well, it sounds like she going to the wrong people. You know, instead of running social media, if she has that passion to, you know, to let people know that she knows something, she should be going to the feds, not to social media. I mean, she's that concerned. You know, so it's something that, you know, something they add up.
Ain't clean. Something in the water ain't clean.
You know, and I mean, if you saw something like that, first of all, if she said she saw some kids there, and then at the same time she saw people having relations, oh, I'd have been out, because you wouldn't have my name associated at an adult party with children. So I don't know why, you know, you stayed, you had opportunity. Heck, if I went to a party and I took something and now my face all locked up, you think I'm going to another one?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I would be scared, you know, that, oh, wow, if this happened to this one, you know, and then people are telling me, oh, be careful, watch what you do, you know, don't drink this, don't do that. That's just a little bit too much. First of all, if I got to go someplace where I can't drink nothing, you can't touch nothing, you scared to eat something, whatever, what kind of fun is that? And then you see all these things that hurts your eyes, you know. All these people are doing all these things. And it's so, you know, maybe she puts it on her naiveness, because she said she was naive, this, that, and the other. But, you know, at 20, you know, I give you a pass for being naive for some things. But at 20, you know right from wrong. And, you know, when you see things, especially with children, you just know right from wrong. She should have hightailed out of there. And like I said, she's not coming forth as a victim. So we, like Savannah said, okay, all this stuff we heard. You know, bring us something we don't know.
No. We got to freeze for 1 minute. She said everybody knew that cameras was in the house. No, we did not hear that. What we heard was
right, true.
He had hidden cameras in the house, and none of these people knew that they was being filmed. This girl said everybody knew that cameras in the house because she saw them, and she said they was in every room. No, she said a lot of stuff that was not heard before. She also said that there was buses and cars. Everybody, there was a shuttle and all kinds of stuff, right? She also said
I heard that
people got to leave. We heard that everybody was forced and they was supplied with all these substances and they was passed out and drugged out of their mind, and none of them was able to consent. She said people were taken home. She also said that they were asked if they wanted to go down in the basement and get into this stuff or go into some other rooms. She said they were asked. That's not what we heard so far. So she said a lot of stuff. I read this article several times. I watched the video several times. And I said, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. She said they were asked if they wanted to go participate in these things. She said she walked by the room. She heard the people getting it in. She said the people was getting it in the pool. She never said nobody was forced. She said these people wanted to impress people, and that's what they was doing. That's what she said. That's not what we've been hearing. Felicia, your thoughts?
Wait a minute, Diva. Other question. She said she's like a news anchor or something, or a celebrity personality in the UK. Is that correct?
I think she's.
Or is that now? She says about her career. She's a news person and a personality. So Is it here or is it in the UK? I'm
She
just trying to figure, did she come back from the UK to tell the story?
I don't know if she did, but to me that don't even matter. What matters is her words and what she said, and how this throws a monkey wrench in the whole situation. And so I think I forgot Luciana wanted to tell me, she said it was a 2007 party. She said she went to parties and she kept running into Diddy, and she said she spent 10 years in New York. I read it several times. Felicia, I need you to talk. What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, good evening, everybody, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Diva, for welcoming me back.
You're welcome.
Wayne, she's in the UK. She did the interview with the Daily Mail. This was my first introduction to Precious.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful young woman. I thought she made a good presentation. She was clear on how she came here. She was pursuing a modeling career. She wanted to get with the people who could bring opportunities her way. And so she understood from the folks in the business with her that these things go on at these parties. So use caution, use this, use that. Yeah, as Wayne said, she got her face all locked up, but she still kind of went back. And I guess she wanted to continue to pursue whatever opportunities were there. However, as I was listening to you, and I'm sorry, there was so much there, I found things contrary in the story. Okay, here goes a disclaimer, folks. I've never attended a Sean Combs party, nor was I ever invited. But whenever I've looked at the photos, there's a whole bunch of people there. They're different kind of looking people. And often I see quite a few Caucasians. However, she said she was only approached by rappers. And for whatever reason, she says they're putting her phone number into their phone. Now, did they have the ability for you to just match your phone up back in 2005 and 6 and take your phone number? And from everyone else pretty much who has filed a civil lawsuit, it was my understanding that your phone was confiscated at the door. You weren't allowed to move amongst these gatherings with your cell phone. So she got me there. I was a little thrown. So while Diva was reading, I went to do a little bit of research on her. And it turns out that Precious is a reality TV star. And she did a documentary. The title is called Boobs. And this is a documentary about Precious Muir, a young fashion model who immigrates to the US in search of success. When her ambitions are challenged by industry biases, she takes out a loan to undergo breast enlargement surgery. That was in 2014. In 2022, she did a reality show called Open. It's a social experiment exploring whether relationships can thrive without monogamy. A group of currently monogamous couples test if the idea of having sex with other people is at odds with maintaining a committed relationship. So when I read all that, they just wrote in the chat, bye, Precious. That's exactly what I said, Savannah. See you, girl. So this is another move for her to get more exposure in her media career. I'm done.
So she talked about the voluptuous girls that came in. She wasn't like them. And I don't care what nobody does to their body. It's your business. But it's interesting how you talked about these girls and you wasn't like them and they was video vixens. And then you go and do what? In my opinion, go ahead.
It's a documentary for those who want to go watch it. She takes you through her whole procedure. And the other piece where she says she's opening and closing doors where people are engaging in adult X relations. She did a whole reality show on doing just that. So maybe she changed her value system. I don't know. Whatever. I'm done with her.
In my opinion, your thoughts?
This is a scheme cooked up by Mama Combs to get her son off. Okay, this girl was paid to come out here and tell everybody the story to get her son out of jail. She want to get him out freed. There's gonna be a lot of people come about these stories. They're gonna be them get paid under the table. Just come out and tell, oh, I went to these parties and yeah, this thing cooked up by Mama Combs to get her baby free.
It really, but you know what though? She really wasn't. She wasn't really trying. I feel like she was trying to do the opposing side, but she contradict. See, the problem with lies is you can't remember a lie, and then you're going to trip over a lie and part of the truth as you're telling your story. She contradicted herself a lot in that story, and I don't think it was anything cooked up by Diddy's side. I think that she tried to talk about, she tried because she said the scary Diddy parties. I think she thought she was saying something that was opposing and didn't realize how much she messed up the more she talked in that article. E, your thoughts? E, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was disconnecting the speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good evening, my dear. I have a few things to say. You know,
Mhm.
the entire opening of that, I guess it's a trailer,
Mhm.
was probably the most camera time this lady has gotten in a while. She appears to me to get high off of lights and attention from men. And she made sure to highlight her superior intellect and accolades in comparison to those other women, as if she was waiting for applause. But the light bulb moment, which should have happened, is that she still ended up in the same party as those same uneducated broads who had nothing more to their name than hunching, uh, drunken high off powdered donuts and bumping belly buttons next to used condoms on the floor. That's what she said. And then fast forward to legitimize her credibility, she drummed up the empathy she had for Cassie. Oh, I was so concerned for Cassie after seeing her with Diddy. And then she quickly began comparing herself to Cassie as well, physically. Oh, we're similar in age, but Cassie looks much younger in the face. And then flipped it back to herself again. I look young too. This is why all the rappers wanted to sleep with me. So now here we go with the age thing again, with the liking only young women. And so this is what she said. So I agree and understand her when she said there were many traps to fall into, and a lot of girls did not make it. She spoke about the pressures of wanting to belong and desiring to embody the aesthetic of a video vixen. That word came up frequently, and that's from the 2000s. So that tells me where her head was at. And I understand what she means by that. Being around lights, having a certain look that men gravitate to, and wanting to make that last. I get it. Um, but after this is when she started with the woe is me. Oh, I couldn't believe I was invited because I was still trying to make a name for myself. Girls were there to impress people. They would touch each other and kiss each other. Again, putting the other girls down and then wrapping it up to say, oh, this is how they came across as impressive to the high power players, the AKA the rappers and pimps. And then she mentioned Hugh Hefner grabbing her by the butt during a photo op, and how she overlooked these things to network and book gigs. And she said it was a part of the job. And, if you don't do what they say, then they can ruin your career. So I, I want to rationalize it this way. This was an elective career choice. This woman mentioned the video vixen aesthetic. She's been under the knife. I've seen this lady from head to toe without any clothes on. All of her business is out there on the internet. She has participated in elective augmentations and cosmetic procedures. She was jealous, is what it sounds like to me, of those girls with round figures because when you look at her, she's shaped like an inverted triangle, and there's nothing wrong with that. All shapes are beautiful, but the way she is painting the picture, she wants sympathy for uh, uh, falling into those same pressure traps that she saw those other girls doing, which she was so above at the beginning of the trailer. Do you get what I'm saying, Diva? Am I?
100%. Because she was like, how do you know who's a P star?
Well, yeah, that was going to be my other thing. I was taken aback by that because not all adult performers have these round and big behinds that she tried to imply. The main reason that she focused on those girls and incessantly compared herself to those women is the same way she compared herself to Cassie, is because she wanted to secure the attention from those men, and she watched those girls engage in intercourse. Even if she did not participate the first time, she eventually something she was watching. Okay, like you said before, Diva, you don't just go to those parties and stay around. You're going back for a reason. And so she wanted to be the top girl. She was active and she was on a mission. She said a part of the job was they put you on a bus, took you to the house, gave you all the drinks, and after 10 seconds, folks were feeling a little different that they never felt before. Things were getting loose out in the open, hunching like rabbits in the nude and being watched. And security told you at the door, don't take too many pictures. Now, I was just in middle school, I think, or coming out of elementary school, getting ready to go to middle school in the 2000s. And those first phones, I remember my first phone was a Nokia, I believe you called them. They didn't have the cameras on there. And so you really had to be fancy, even up to 2003. I don't even think the cameras were on the phones back then because I remember having one. And so I can understand why you may have had your phone and they were putting the numbers in there, but she rounded that off, and this is my last 10 seconds. Don't take pictures. This is private. So that means she's been going to those parties for a while. And she said you had to make a choice. And when she said that, I understood that clearly. I feel like that's the most truest thing she said in the whole 5 minutes. I Listen, you don't have to read the entire book to know the goddamn story. She's clout chasing for 5 more minutes of camera time because she does not have roots anywhere else, and she's still looking for her big break. She's still looking for the notoriety. And where I got turned off was when she said, why do I have to do this to get there? Again, trying to play on that sympathy card. That's what she asked. Why do I have to do this? Meaning participate in the slutting out in order to get the job and advance promotion. And my answer is this: because you came there. That's why you have to, because you came there. Like my aunt told me years ago, if you're not going to do what the other girls are coming to do, why do you even want to go?
That part. You done said a whole word. She's messy. She's muddying the waters, and she should have kept her mouth shut. Julius, your thoughts?
Oh Lord, every time one of these people nowadays speak out, now listen, my inner troll is coming out and I'm cutting up in the chat. Hit the like button, y'all. Like, it's at the point, okay, what? You jealous because what? The girls had like better makeup than you? Like, make it make sense to me, like, in my beautician brain, like, what makes you feel beautiful? What? Because you didn't have that best Sephora makeup or that what was around at the time, that L'Oreal Paris blowout style. Like, make it make sense to me. Because, like, honestly, I'm gonna say this, okay? If you not doing nothing illegal, okay? If you're not doing nothing illegal and it's all consensual, guess what? If you want you to have your orgies and everything else, go ahead. Have your orgies, have the FOs, do it all. Go ahead. If you like it, I love it. That's your business. As long as nothing illegal going on, I don't care. Not my business. And other than that, all the crybabies that coming out trying to get some money, miss me with the foolery, cause we caught one and now we catching another. I'm tired, cause you people just got me confused where my inner troll is coming out. Hit the like button, y'all.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to roll into the next story. The next story, I'm going to show you a video first. It's a reminder because we did this story earlier in the year on my channel where the home health aide pretty much beat the 95-year-old person that she was taking care of is just totally insane. And now she has been charged, and rightfully so. So first I'll show a reminder video, and then I'll get into the article.
Of a 95-year-old woman in Manhattan. Her family telling us that attack was at the hands of the woman's home health aide. And those family members watching it all on cameras, but helpless to do anything.
Eyewitness News reporter Jim Dolan with exclusive video and details.
The woman on the left is a home health aide sent this past Sunday to take care of Dorothy, a 95-year-old woman who uses a walker and needs an oxygen tank. This is all about to get much worse. She would throw something from the floor at Dorothy and then something from the table. She would swat at her with a pan from the kitchen and throw the pan at her. And then there was this, hitting Dorothy repeatedly until that 95-year-old woman, clutching her walker, collapsed to the floor.
It was a nightmare. It was horrific. It was the worst day, one of the worst days of my life.
Michelle Mitchell, who did not want her face shown, was in New Jersey on Sunday, but she was watching this pummeling of her grandmother on her phone as it happened because the family had installed cameras in the apartment.
I felt helpless. I felt so it was like the worst thing that I could have imagined.
The whole family was watching, but they were all helpless.
Michelle started crying. She says, I'm on the phone with Tiffany, and Tiffany just told me that the girl beat her up. Michelle was crying and screaming on the train. So, oh my God, grandma's being beat up. She's being beat up.
The health aide eventually left the apartment. She had been sent to the home by a company called the Med Flight at Home Healthcare Agency. We reached out to the company, but they did not respond. Police are now looking for the health aide worker, but have made no arrests. The whole incident has left the family stunned.
It was just unreal to me. It was so unreal that someone could punch somebody like they were beating them down.
So far, at least, it looks like Dorothy's injuries are not serious. She has some bruising, is sore all over. She has trouble raising her arms. And doctors are still worried about possible blood clots. Again, that home health aide worker has not yet been arrested.
Well, she has been arrested and she has been charged. So let me go ahead and share screen again with y'all. So Aide charged with viciously beating Grandma 95 who defended herself with a back scratcher. We kind of already saw that. I'm not going to play it again. A home health care aide accused of beating a 95-year-old grandmother in her care was arrested and charged this week for alleged assault. Home security cameras allegedly captured the home health aide. I'm not gonna mess up her name. Viciously beating Dorothy Foy in her Harlem apartment in July, according to the video shared with the Post. The aide, who lives in Queens, arrested Tuesday, was charged in Manhattan Supreme Court with 2 counts of second-degree assault, which can carry up to 7 years in prison, and 1 count of endangering the welfare of a vulnerable elderly person. That is her. She has been arrested and charged. Let me just continue reading down lower. 1 second. She pleaded not guilty and is being held on $25,000 bail, according to court records. The women were arguing about changing for a bed sheets when the aide started throwing items at her, charged, punched her multiple times, and hit her with a metal kitchen pot, according to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Foy, who uses a walker and oxygen tank, could be seen in the footage begging and defending herself with a back scratcher. I called the aide and she said everything was fine. Tiffany Mitchell, 43, one of Foy's granddaughters, told the Post in July. That's the bruise on her arm. That's Tiffany, the granddaughter. Then she readialed her grandmother and was stunned by what she heard. I heard this woman in the background. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, screaming profanities at her, Mitchell claimed. The aide, who was hired through the Brooklyn-based home health care service, MedFly, at home, allegedly threw water and garbage all over the floor before fleeing the scene, the DA said. Foy, who was a home health aide herself, was left bruised, aching, and traumatized from the incident, the family told the Post. So I'm glad to hear she was arrested, and I'm glad to hear that these charges she's been charged with carry a heavy penalty. Katrina, your thoughts?
Okay. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to deal with elderly people. And if you ain't got the heart or the stomach for it, you don't need to do that job. Because you're going to have some patients that want to fight you. They're mad because I'm not saying that I'm not talking about this lady, but they want to fight you because they're mad that their family put them in those nursing homes and things like that. And so they get upset. So what I'm saying is if you don't have the heart, the stamina, and the stomach and do that type of work, you don't need to do that type of work because is a lot comes with that type of work. It's a lot of work. You basically you're their caregiver. You got to feed them. Sometimes you have to bathe them. Sometimes you have to put them in the bed. Sometimes you have to give them their medicine. It's a lot of work. And if you're not a, a compassionate person, that's not the field for you. That's not the field for you because, like I said before, it takes a lot of work to deal with older like people. And for her to do that, I don't know what the old lady did or whatsoever, but regardless of what she did, she still didn't deserve getting what she got. And the only thing that they're gonna give her, if she go to court or she go to think, she gonna have to take a class, emotional class or like a what type of class, and the judge once she do complete that, the judge will drop the charges because I've seen it happen before. Once they complete that class, the judge ordered them to take. They come back and say they completed it, and the judge will drop the charges. I'm not saying it's going to happen in her case, but I'm saying I know cases that happen too, and it's a situation. That's why I'm glad I didn't have to put my mom in that type of situation. Because if anybody did anything like that to my mom, they could be answering to me. The police ain't had to worry about it. I got this. So you just have to be careful where you put your parents, who you got around your parents. It makes me want to cry, really. And I'm a hard person, but it makes me want to cry because I can't fathom sitting up there hitting an old person who can't defend themselves. That's just like hitting a child who can't defend themselves or so, can't do anything for themselves. It's a lot. Like I said, it makes me want to cry, but I ain't gonna do it because that could be one of our moms or grandma. And to see that happen in real time, that makes it even worse. And you can't get there to do anything about it. That makes it another time worse. It's just ridiculous. And I know sometimes, like I said, these people go to court, they take these classes, they let them out. They can't work in the field no more. Whatever.
I don't think she's gonna get off. There's a videotape clearly seeing her.
It's a videotape. I mean, what I'm saying is, Diva, listen, I've worked around. I know you have too, and I'm not saying that she's gonna get off, but I know for a fact some of these people abuse these people in the nursing home. They go to court. The judge ordered them to take these classes. Once they take them classes, they don't get in trouble anymore. They take that off their record and they give them a fine, but they don't lock them up. But I'm not saying it's not going to happen with her because every case is different. But I've seen this happen before. Not something somebody told me, something I know because I told you I worked in that field. So I've seen this happen before. But hopefully, that lady that's elderly abuse, and hopefully something will be done for that, about that, because that's a heartbreaking thing to see somebody beating up on your parent and you can't get there to get them. That's totally, totally sad. But that's all I got, Eva.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
So, Diva, what state did this occur in?
It's in New York,
Oh,
Harlem.
in New York. Okay. I was thinking it was in Florida. And no, in Florida, it can be considered a first degree felony. I'm sorry, first degree felony for this type of aggravated abuse causing serious harm or permanent disability or disfigurement, and it can be up to 30 years in prison. Second degree is if they are they get a all first degree plus a 20 to up to $100,000 fine, and third degree is 5 years in prison. So I also have a sister who works in this field. She's been in this field for over 20 years, and I always wonder how strong of a heart she has, because she has had to report some of her employees who have not had the best interest of their patient. And in turn, these employees or family members have threatened my sister, or, just it retaliated against her for because she was doing her job and protecting a senior citizen. I don't think whatever penalty she gets, it's enough. Thank goodness that the family had cameras there. I think the company who hired her should also uh, adhere to a penalty for not vetting their employees correctly. And I honestly hope the family find her in a coming out of a Target one. Well, don't go to Target, don't mess up my Target. Coming out of Walmart and just beat her tail. That's how I feel, because it takes a person with a really nasty, ugly heart to beat upon someone who's helpless and defenseless. And there is absolutely no excuse, and I don't see where any law would just give you a slap on the wrist, take a class, and then just get back into the same field. That I haven't seen that or heard that. So kudos to the family for catching this. And I do know now there there is a proposal to bring home health care under Medicaid, and it's going to be a federal program if it's voted in. And when things like this happen, it will be federal charges. It's not just going to be state and local charges that someone who abuses a senior citizen will be facing. So, and they're going to be going through much more of a screening and vetting process than what they go through now.
I appreciate you. Thank you. E, you're up.
Um, I'm not. Oh, I don't know how to say this. Well, the government taking this over. I guess the only good thing about it is that, when harm is done, it will be federal charges. But lots of people, are able to get positions who don't have records. And you could think you're hiring the best candidate, but you really don't know what people are doing until you put them in that position. And this is where I have to push back. And, I heard, taking care of the elderly is not for the weak, and you have to have compassion. The person is in a walker. This person is not walking up. This is not a health aid. This is a health billing. This person is not walking up to this health billing and commencing all kinds of verbal abuse that would seem unbearable. I thought it was mentioned the lady also needed assistance with the IV or breathing thing or whatever it was. So no. I'm not interested in talking about what older people do to make, people's jobs harder. I want to talk about why people are so comfortable with putting their hands on people who cannot defend themselves when you're getting paid and you took an oath, you went to school, you signed the contracts, you have a license, and you think it's okay. Listen, it's okay if you want to throw all of your hard work down the drain, but how dare you come into somebody's home who is enlisting you and paying you to be of service, and instead you raise all kinds of hell and leave behind your marks of terror. See, this is what makes me angry. And this is why I said last night, I don't need to read the book to know the whole damn story. I don't care what happened before this part of the tape plays, before the health villain began commencing her attack. I don't care what the grandmother said to provoke her, if that was even the case. Just like I said with the 13-year-old, I'm going to be consistent. This health villain needs to be arrested and sentenced to the maximum time possible. I don't need any testimony. I don't care what the health villain got her degree, what family she comes from, or what mental health problems she has. This person was hired to come in and assist this elderly woman in a walker, but it says she trashed the lady's home and picked up a pan and attacked this woman in her own home, her own safe space. And the granddaughter says she was watching it on the camera. Listen, I live 40 minutes away from my nana, but I'm telling you, if that would have been me, I would have been on the road so fast your head will spin. As soon as I got that security cam notification and I watched it, I would have been on the way. I would have met that lady at the door because this is egregious. When I saw that older woman fall to the floor while trying to shield her face and stand up in preparation to defend herself, that is, I know I get the rep of not being forgiven on this panel. That is unforgivable to me. And I will stand on that as if this were my own grandmother. That health villain walked around that house and threw stuff around like that was her damn house. She treated this woman as if she was a visitor in her own home, like she was trespassing. It's infuriating.
You ain't never lie, E. Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
Okay, I had to find it, but you know, I wish in our society some of the most, if not most important jobs that we hold, i.e. teachers, i.e. healthcare workers. These are people, if it hadn't been for a teacher, at some point in the way, we wouldn't know how to read, write, all the. So we, in other words, we had to go through a teacher to get to where we are anywhere in life. And their pay is not equitable to that kind of profession with that kind of responsibility. These CNAs, I don't know what they make, but I don't think they make a whole lot of money. And I wish that these jobs like teachers and that the pay would be, I don't know the word, but that it would be a good pay.
More than what it is.
More than what it is. That, you know, because this kind of pay, this kind of pay attracts those kind of people. Okay? Because they can't, I'm not saying they can't, they're not getting better jobs. So you getting Joe Blow, Sally Sue off the street with a little education, maybe you can have a GED or high school diploma, and then get your you know, whatever license it is to do this. And these people, they need to make these kind of jobs good paying jobs, because you have a responsibility over somebody's life. But you're getting pennies to do a job like that. And I just think, and I'm not giving these people excuses to be able to do that, but I think these are important jobs. Teachers are important jobs. Okay? But you got athletes who makes millions of dollars to keep you happy, to entertain you. But that athlete had to get through a teacher. At some point, that athlete, star, celebrity, whoever, is going to have to go through some kind of a healthcare worker. And I don't think they're paying them enough. And I think if they did, you would have less of this kind of activities. Not only that, this woman, now I agree, she needs to be prosecuted. You know, this woman, this lady gave a new term to black and blue. I mean, marks like that on her body. So she should be prosecuted to the extent of the law that they prosecute people who do these kind of crimes. So I'm all for that. But at the same time, I wish these people would pay them more so they can get quality people. That's it.
Thank you, Rain. Rebecca, thank you. And I do know many people that care, and they're not doing this. I think this chick is just sick and evil. And I think no matter what job that particular woman probably would do, it probably will be problematic. Felicia, your thoughts?
Thank you, Diva. So I was doing a little research and listening at the same time. This is another unfortunate situation, but I did look into what where this woman can be in the next couple of days. I understand that she's being held, that she was picked up, she was arrested, she was charged, and her bail was 25,000, and she's in the jailhouse. So, amen to the good Lord. This Saturday, she's in the jailhouse. I doubt if she's throwing pots and pans and trash around the floor in there.
Come on now.
So, in New York City, a single count of endangering the welfare of a vulnerable elderly person is considered a Class E felony, which may result in a jail sentence of up to 4 years in prison, depending on the severity of the case and the circumstances involved. Also, I was looking at the sentencing for the second degree assault. So she got 2 charges, and the maximum in both of them is 7. However, you're found guilty, the minimum is 2 years. So she is looking at jail time, and she may get some kind of break, let's say, between those 3 counts. If she's found guilty, maybe she'll get 3 years and then maybe 2 years probation if she's able to control herself and not get into further trouble. But there's also other penalties that come if you're found guilty of these behaviors. After that, you can no longer work in the areas of healthcare or education or things like that. So there are consequences down the road that will come into play. And so she's not going to win. They got her. She's going to pay the price for her cruel behavior. It was certainly unnecessary. There's no reason. And I think about that gentleman that used to come up, and he said, "Everybody, keep your hands to yourself."
Come on now.
And it doesn't seem to matter how many times we say it, people just don't understand how to keep their hands to themselves. She would have been better served when the granddaughter called her to say, "I'm really having a tough day here today with your grandmother. Can you get somebody else to come over? I'm going to sit here. I won't leave her alone," because this woman was supposed to be getting 24-hour care. This support person left her there alone. She's supposed to have 24-hour care. So she walks off the job after she beats you down. She walks off the job and she leaves you there alone. She doesn't look to see if you're okay. She don't dial the 911. She don't, nothing. So this is a wrap for her. And she's going to pay the price severely. And I think overall, the message, just keep your hands to yourself. And if you don't like the job you got, you can't do it compassionately, you can't do it effectively, for God's sake, quit. There's more dignity in public assistance. I'm done.
That part. Thank you, Felicia. Julius, your thoughts?
Okay, well, I am for the sentiment of keeping your hands to yourself. However, because there is a however, I am a PCA for my mom. And y'all know I also go to school. If I came home and seen this type of thing, my career would go out the window, because me and that person, we would be fighting. Like, there would be no question in my mind. You are not going to disrespect the head woman of this house. You are not going to disrespect your elder. You are not going to disrespect my family. No, no. So, and I hope she gets some kind of street justice for her behavior. Yeah, I'm saying it. Because those black and blue bruises were uncaused for, unprovoked. You have a phone, like Miss Felicia just said. She could have called her granddaughter and say, hey, can you get somebody else? But she didn't. She chose to abuse. She chose to trash the lady's house. I took offense to that like it was my own grandmother's. And they, even though they are not with me today, I took offense to that. And I hope that family puts her through the cleaners. Because I would. And the thing about it is, I learned about caregiving from my Nana, my mom's mom. While she had my cousin's mom as her aide, she would have me do small things around the house. And so when my mom got sick, all of that training that I had when I was little, it came like instinct. And it's like, don't play.
Yeah, this woman, she has a lot to answer to, but I reckon that she got her life somewhat together as she's sitting behind bars right now. And like you said, Felicia, she ain't throwing nothing up in that jail. So she learning a day, or whatever day they actually arrested her. I'm gonna roll right into this last story, and we'll do like a quick comment on this. It's just kind of an updated lawsuit. She had sued him already, and now she added more information to her lawsuit. So Kanye West sued for allegedly drugging an SA and ex-assistant at Sean Diddy Combs' studio session. Listen, this man, if anything else goes down in Hollywood, they're going to somehow throw Diddy name on top of it. Kanye West's ex-assistant Lauren claims in a bombshell lawsuit that she was allegedly given substances and ex-aid while attending a studio session with her ex-boss in Sean Diddy Combs. The model alleges in an amended complaint obtained by Page 6 Saturday that during the session in Santa Monica, California, she was allegedly given a drink laced with an unidentified substance. She claims that West 47 was the one who ordered for the drink to be poured, although Combs 54 was named in the suit for allegedly co-hosting the studio session. He was not accused of any wrongdoing. Lauren added that she felt disoriented and in less control of her body and speech after consuming the beverage, per the complaint filed on October 8 in Los Angeles Superior Court of California. Those are those two in better times, I guess. The next morning, she claimed she felt ill and immense shame, but was still unclear of all the details. Lauren, who sued West earlier this year for SH and wrongful termination, claims she only learned what allegedly occurred to her the night of the studio session much later. She alleges that the Yeezy founder confessed to her that they did kind of hook up a little one time, referencing the night she was allegedly given substances per the complaint. West had reportedly been married at the time that the alleged assault occurred. He and Kim Kardashian wed in 2014 and settled their divorce in 2022. West's spouse, who was not named in the complaint, had allegedly been accusing him of having S relations with Lauren, prompting him to fess up to what allegedly occurred in the studio session. This is a whole hot mess. Still to that day, up into the conversation and revelations of true facts and actions taken that night, plaintiff did not know or think she was S.A. that night, as plaintiff only thought she was roofied by a studio assistant, likely embarrassed herself, and then took the blame. The complaint asked. The ex-assistant felt disgusted and numbed by West's alleged revelation and reportedly knew in that moment that she had to quit working for the power rapper. However, she allegedly had to be extremely careful in the way she distanced herself per the complaint, as she believed she would be silenced, blacklisted, and retaliated against. Laura was reportedly fired shortly thereafter. She claims in her suit, which was originally filed in June, that she was never paid $3 million in severance that she was allegedly owed. In the filing, the OnlyFans model also claims she received vulgar texts from West on multiple occasions. See, my problem is I be wanting to F, but then after I F, I want the girl to tell me, it's vulgar. I'm not going to go through all of that. She amended her claim. Of course, Kanye West is denying everything. And she said prior to her termination as an assistant, Laura stole his cell phone in an attempt to destroy phone records that would contradict her claims, all of which have been preserved. They continue. She was terminated for being unqualified, demanding unreasonable sums of money, including a $4 million annual salary and numerous documented incidents of her lavacious, unhinged conduct. Page 6 has reached out to West Rep for comment on the new allegations in the amended complaint, but did not immediately hear back. Combs reps declined to comment. I mean, this is a mess because they name it, his name is being thrown in a lot. This amended, case is a mess. I am going to try to pull the case down so I can look through it and go through it really quickly. Katrina, any thoughts on this situation?
By her saying Combs, so that's making us think that okay, she was given something that she didn't know is the reason why she's adding Diddy to this now. I'm not saying that didn't happen to her, whatever, but then still, you still work for him after you said that you felt like, but you said you thought it was one of the workers that gave you the roofie or whatever. But now you saying that it was Kanye and he told you that this happened, but you didn't put it on your first complaint in your first lawsuit. Now you coming back because you didn't get the money that you were supposed to get. So now you want to add this into this and to make it worse. I mean, not I guess to make it more believable. Now, I'm not saying it's not believable, but I'm just saying you making it more believable because you adding Puff Daddy name to it. I mean, these people are. I mean, things happen, but these people are ridiculous. I'm not saying that this stuff didn't happen to you, but what I'm saying is you waited to put this in. You could have put it in before if you said this happened to you. You added more to it because you're trying to make it, you're trying to get more money out of it because you didn't get what you wanted in the first place. You didn't get the 4 million. So obviously you should have just went on and told because you said you wasn't going to talk about it because you didn't want to lose your job or anything like that, but you still lost your job. So you could have went on told it then. But now you're coming back saying that this happened and it was in Diddy home whatsoever. So folks can say because they already saying that Diddy put stuff in people's drinks and all that. So now you add this to your lawsuit. Good luck, lady, because I'm not saying I don't believe you, and I ain't telling nobody when to tell their truth and how to, express themselves whatsoever. But if this happened to you, you should have had this in your first lawsuit. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying she should have did this before. That's all I got.
Thank you, Savannah.
Look, Combs lawyers are tired. They have so many they got to vet. I mean, it's just silly at this time. And she got fired because Bianca knew that something was going on between her man and his assistant. So I'm just this coming back and adding more sugar to the story. It's just it makes me look at her side-eyed. Um Again, everyone is not a victim. And I have to adhere to that. And because if something did happen to you, you're going to, the truth is the truth and it cannot be altered. It's the truth. You're going to remember every detail, what he wore, what he smelled like, Was he clean? Was he dirty? His breath? You're going to remember all of that. And all of that should be part of your lawsuit in the beginning. Coming back later, adding, oh, it happened at a Diddy party. I got some juice. It tasted funny. All of that is added extra that is not needed, and it's going to make her case, I think, now even more unbelievable and harder to prosecute. So good luck to her and whatever she got going on.
Thank you. E, you're up.
Well, $4 million salary and no master's degree. Scantily dressed on Insta and inappropriate text with the boss. This is the American dream. She made it. I say $4 million salary. I mean, come on. I mean, what did the girl say in the first story? When you find yourself in this type of environment, you have to make a choice. And this woman made her choice and continued making choices and documenting the events. And I would even venture to say encouraging Kanye to a certain degree, because somewhere in the back of her mind, she was saving this evidence for a rainy day, and time has come. I believe this woman and Kanye share inappropriate communication and experiences between employee and supervisor. I believe that. And due to the power dynamics, the onus was on Kanye. And he should have been responsible. Similar to Precious and how she threw Cassie's name in there for sympathy and to legitimize her claim, this woman is throwing Sean Combs in to legitimize her claims of abuse. And it may work because I'm 10 toes down that the people at the courthouse, as soon as they see Sean Combs and anytime they see these, no, really, anytime they see these hip hop people names, these rappers, they're like, okay, we got another one. And so I don't think that it's going to make her case more difficult to litigate and win. I think that the onus is going to be on Kanye to produce a strong defense. And the fact that he was not paying allegedly his first attorney and wasn't responding, I think that he has problems. But as who is my girl? Leo, as Leo would say, good luck.
Thanks, E. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah, you can Diddy me out of this one.
Thanks, Wayne. Felicia, your thoughts?
I'll pass.
Thank you. Julius, anything?
Nah.
All right, I appreciate you. Listen, I think it's like he say, once these courts see the Diddy's name on it, it's not a shock anymore. I don't know how her story is going to pan out, but I will say, and I had said it before, I really feel like Diddy is going to go down in history with the most civil lawsuits known to mankind. It's getting absolutely crazy now. I do think she amended and threw his name in it because now everybody is 10 toes down that all he did was spike drinks, took advantage of people. So it's given some legitimacy, probably does she think, to say that this happened at a Diddy studio and somebody gave her some spiked drink and she said ordered by Kanye, and then this happened to her, and then Kanye happened to tell her, yeah, we did hook up. It's a whole hot mess. Listen, guys, y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Thank you for spending time with me on Saturday night for Trending Topics. I'll see you next time. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Choo choo.